From the Millersville University Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Kyle Elliott.
And I'm Sid Meteorologist Mitchell Cocaine.
Here with the medium range forecast and video discussion issued on Wednesday, November 12th. Well, Mitch, taking a look out the window, it's pretty cloudy, it's dreary, it's cold. We fully transitioned now into this kind of fall, early winter type of feel. And, unfortunately, I don't really think it's going anywhere in the medium range period.
Yeah, no, it really isn't, unfortunately. I mean, I'm kind of used to this, honestly, living here. And it's kind of just a Pennsylvania type thing, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just you wake up and it's just gloomy and you're like, all right, well, here we go. So.
We're in that depressing 5-6 months of the year. I always said there's 6 good months from like April 15th to October 15th. And you have the bad stretch from October 15th to April 15th. So we're just right in the middle of it. So, well, tell us what the weekend looks like, Mitch.
Well, here we're taking a look at the Canadian model here on Saturday afternoon. You guys can see that that storm system that's settled over central Canada, and it's kind of stretching out a cold front down into the mid-central plains there. And it's going to have a cold front associated with it. It's going to move through our region Saturday night into Sunday. And really depending on how Sunday really turns out here is depending on timing. And as you guys can see with the Canadian's a little bit slower with the cold front coming through Saturday night to Sunday morning. And then looking at the European, it's much faster. So realistically, if the Canadian's right, we'll have much warmer conditions on Sunday. And then if the Euro's right, we'll have much cooler conditions because the cold front will move through faster. And associated with the cold front, we'll have some scattered showers. And then, Kyle, looking into Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, it looks like pretty much a rinse and repeat of what we just went through early this week. I don't think it's quite as cold as what we just saw this past couple of days early next week, but it's still going to be pretty chilly. Behind that cold front, counterclockwise flow around this low pressure system means that winds are going to turn back around to the northwest later Sunday into Monday. And early next week looks quite blustery and chilly once again. You can see this colder pocket of air moves down over the northeast and the mid-Atlantic states. So expect Monday to be blustery and much colder. I'm thinking wind gusts early next week might be back up around 35, 40 miles per hour with highs only in the 40s again on Monday. So it's going to feel a lot colder, meaning you'll need your winter coats and gloves once again. It's just that time of the year where this is going to become the norm. There are some differences in the Canadian and the Euro models early next week, really centering around this storm system in the plains. You'll notice that the Canadian model has that low pressure system centered over eastern Colorado and western Kansas on Monday, but the European model has that centered over South Dakota, and that has some influence in our forecast going forward then into Tuesday. You'll notice that the Canadian model has a very strong high pressure system over southern Canada and the upper Great Lakes region, which essentially suppresses that storm system really far to the south. And if we went out into Wednesday, we don't actually get any precip from this if the Canadian's right. The Euro is 100% different from that. It almost shows the low pressure system where the Canadian had the high pressure system. Still a little bit farther south than that, but the low is able to track much farther north because that high pressure system over southern Canada is weaker and farther north as well. So if the European is right on Tuesday, we have highs in the mid to upper 50s. If the Canadian is right, they'd still be in the mid to upper 40s. But either way you slice it, Tuesday does look like it's going to turn out dry at this point. So taking a look at the medium range forecast, cool on Saturday with increasing clouds, high 50. Partly sunny and breezy on Sunday with a chance of showers, mainly in the morning, high 58. And again, blustery and much colder on Monday with a mix of clouds and sun, high 48. And then Tuesday's really up in the air right now. But at this point, I'm kind of leaning a bit toward the Canadian model, so still partly sunny and rather chilly with a persistent breeze, highs again in the upper 40s to low 50s. Well, that'll do it for this edition of the Medium Range Forecast. Tune back in next Wednesday for the latest edition. Until then, stay warm and hang on to your hats with this persistent wind.